We're back with another Friday wrap-up, and this one's wild. The Chris Griffin and Wade podcast, yeah, we've got thoughts. Buckle up as we break down the episode that had us and half the internet screaming at our phones. Before we dive into today's episode, have you grabbed your free copy of the Female Body Awareness Kit yet? If not, girl, you are missing out. This isn't your average PDF download. We are talking juicy checklists, hormone-friendly hacks, and real-life routines to help you feel in sync with your body. Whether you're navigating PCOS, endo, or just not quite feeling like yourself, think of it as a survival guide we wish we had years ago. And yup, it's totally free. Just head to our website or tap the link in the show notes to snag yours now.
So Ames, we've made it to our next Friday wrap-up. How you feeling, mate?
I don't like to word the C word, so I'm just going to say I am in a mood. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Why so?
I just, our girl problems, well, not problems, I would say, but a girl cycle, and I am late as well, so it's
okay. Well, you know what's funny though? Well, not funny, but you were well and truly before me a few weeks ago, right? So I'm thinking what could be happening is because we're working so closely together, we might be joining in at the same time. Now, I just got mine.
Yep.
Not in the best mood, but like, hey, it's perfect for this podcast, so I can't really complain. But yeah, maybe that's what's happening.
Well, do you know what? It's funny you make mention of that, because when you told me you had yours a couple of days ago, I was like, oh, we're syncing. But like, that makes me think, is syncing an actual sync? Like,
Yeah,
is it? But like, how does that happen?
it is. Like, because think about when you were living at home, and we can obviously, we're going to go over time here because fucking we're chatting, of course we are. But
The new
like,
15
when you
minute
were
time
living at
limit.
home, did you and your sister nearly have it at the same time?
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah,
like,
so
at
then
high
it's a
school-
thing.
Yeah, but like, why though? I want to know why. Like, it's actually.
We should actually look that up for next Friday
Yeah.
and find out why syncing in periods happen. I think, I don't even know if I want to know why, but maybe that's something we can go and investigate.
Okay, well, I've just Googled it. We haven't ChatGPT'd it just yet, but I've got modern research suggests it's more likely a matter of statistical probability and chance.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that is
Check
bullshit.
GPT, mate.
All right, bear with me. Do you know what? It's a good question to put in our chat.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me and provide me with a scientific
Because to be honest, your
answer.
mood started last week. My mood started on Monday.
Mood, yeah.
Because I know when to not. If I don't think I should say anything, I just steer away. I'm like, okay, no worries.
Yeah, you don't prod with the scientific.
Nah.
Can you explain to me and provide me a scientific answer of why me and my friend keep having
Are we friends now? That's cute.
and you were gonna say keep having periods at the same time. Right, let's just see what happens.
And can it happen via Zoom?
I know, because I haven't probably seen you in person for like 2 weeks.
I know.
Probably should say, okay.
Great.
Oh, psychologist Martha McClintock published a study in the journal Nurture, suggesting that women who lived in close quarters, like in dorms, tended to have their menstrual cycles synchronized over time. This became known as the McClintock effect, or more broadly, menstrual synchrony.
But no, there's no reason why.
No, there's no reason why. Oh, there we go. Menstrual synchrony, yeah, is a fascinating idea, but science doesn't currently support it as a consistent or reliable phenomenon. That's
It's probably hard to get evidence, like to actually find out why on that.
I mean, mate, you continuously tell me you're not a woo-woo, but like this type of stuff goes into the woo-woo territory, I think.
That isn't, I'm not a fucking woo-woo. I'm a nutcase, but I'm not a woo-woo.
Anyway, I mean, like, look, we obviously are diving in further to the episode that we extracted a clip last week from.
It was a long episode.
It was a long episode. So, like, how'd you feel now listening to that episode? I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't even know where to start.
I'm conflicted, right? So, like, I would say, first of all, he's obviously done pretty well. What's his name again?
Wade? Peppenfass?
No, not Wade. Wade is the guy that he's interviewing.
Correct. Chris Griffin, my mate.
Chris Griffin, right? So, like, he's obviously done something right to be able to get as popular as what he is. But for me personally, listening to him, he sounds like a young kid that thinks he has so much knowledge and he wants to share that with the world, but really he doesn't have much at all. Like he's just putting out some hot words. Do you know what I mean? That makes it sound really good. Secondly, Wade. Wade, I quite like. So, like, I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this dude and he's just loving life. Like, he's just like a cool dude, loving life. And some stuff that he mentions, like, I'm like, yeah, go you know? Like, setting his boundaries for the type of people he wants to be around and, you know, removing himself away from certain friends, etc., because he wants to develop his own, I suppose, life by learning things from other people, which I thought was really cool, and seeing the beauty in a lot of people. Also steering himself away from, like, negativity. So, like, he always chooses the better path. Like, they were using some kind of shit analogy in there in regards to, like, the garden
fire,
and then...
the fire and all that type of stuff. I didn't know where that was going. I was like, come on, boys.
That was just rubbish. But, like, I feel like... And I come up with some shit analogies, but at least mine are funny.
You think they're funny.
And, like, I just feel that he contradicts himself too, though.
Well, do you know... Well, and this is the thing, all right? Like, again, I'm with you too. You know, this Chris Griffin, he's built, you know, we're talking from a podcast where we've got hardly no followers, just starting point though. You know, and there's a lot of correlation between what they talk about to, like, what we're doing, Britt. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like, you know, I think there's a lot of insightful information in that podcast, right? And kudos to them for going out and having this, you know, type of conversation. And I feel the same way because there are a lot of things, especially when they were talking a relationship, they were talking about, like, making sure that they are their own best selves before they look at anyone else in a relationship, you know, accepting the fact that you have to accept that my priorities at this season or in this moment.
And I love that. Like, at the end of the day, I love that, you know, the person you're going to be with should want you to be your best version of yourself.
And like, that's where, like, I've always had that mentality for a very long time, you know, and kind of went through it myself from, you know, a relationship years and years and years ago. So, like, I agree with them in those type of scenarios.
Some aspects,
you know, and they had, you know, some really great points that they made regarding all that. But I'm with you because, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, but bro, like, you're contradicting... And you're creating this, like, image, like, it's a tough one, yeah, because it's.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's immaturity. They haven't developed yet because I think them watching themselves back in, like, say, 10 to 15 years' time, they might think, oh my God, we're flogs.
Well, yeah, but, like, that's a concern, Britt. Do you know what I mean? And, like, this is what gets me is, like, okay, cool, immaturity, all these, like, concepts of comments of, like, oh, well, boys will just be boys. That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Well, it started with the hot girl walk. That, like, what the hell is a hot girl walk, first and foremost? Like, do I get to go on these hot girl walks? Like, what's hot? Like, I want to actually contact Chris and say, hey, can I go on that hot girl walk? Do I qualify?
Oh.
And then the top tier, like the top tier section. Like, what is that? Did you hear that bit?
No, what was that bit?
It's like they've got to be like top tier dude. Like the quality to get a top tier girl is really hard, but you got to like, it's hard to find the top tiers.
I just like and this is where I feel like they contradict themselves a bit, right? Like, first and foremost, you guys are talking about how you're so passionate about your dreams and that you're doing stuff that's like outside the normality, which I love because it's exactly it correlates with exactly what me and you are doing, Britt.
100%.
And there was a lot of what they've said in regards to, you've got to set your boundaries, certain people and stuff like that. With me personally, with my dreams, like, he made a comment which like I loved. I wrote it down. It was a quote about, be careful who you share your dreams with.
I love that, yeah.
And it gives me goosebumps because I've heard that before, and that's why I keep a lot of things to myself, right? So, like, I love all that. But then, so they talk about that, and then they talk about, like, how attractive it is for females to have, like, a hobby and be passionate about something. Which is
like
great,
they can't
right?
be a successful woman. Like, they can't go out there and build a dream or
Well,
an empire.
And this is where the concern is. Okay, that's great. Fantastic that you want females who are passionate about something. That's awesome, right? And they also make comment about, like, in their context, obviously they're two straight guys and stuff, which I love. Like, it's it's not like they're They make
and they keep saying, like, they wouldn't be where they are without the women in their life.
And whatever, right?
Yeah.
But, like, okay, cool, it's so attractive for females to do something they love and whatever. And then they fucking pull out the fucking postcards, fighting Barbies, and then fucking say, don't complain if I've got
and
the
hot
money.
girl walks.
What the fuck, bro? Like,
They just turn it, don't they? It's like it's going in a good direction.
Correct.
And it's just like, now where's this going? It does not make sense to what you just said. It's contradicting.
And I don't know, like, I think, we talked a lot about last week it being, a relationship coming together and talking about teamwork and, certain stuff where he's like, guys have a duty to explain to a female what he, like, feels. Like, bro, okay, you're two guys having a fucking conversation, but where's the female in this conversation too?
Yeah.
Like, the thing is they're talking to a female that, like, for example, for me, is so not like that. Like, I don't talk a lot. I'm not good at talking about my personal feelings. I'm super passionate and have been passionate about what I've been doing for so many years. I've always said, like, my dreams and my career is coming first. And that's why I haven't been able to find someone for years, so to speak, because they can't accept that, because a lot of the men in my life who I've handled, I don't know if that's a right word, but they're too insecure to deal with that.
Yeah,
Like,
so what they're doing is they've painted a picture of what women are currently doing. Like, in their head is like, this is what women are currently doing. Like, they're going to want to cuddle in the morning, and they're not going to let us, like, go out and have a swim. And they're not going to, like, mate, I don't mind if my husband's out the door by 4 a.m. Like, that gives me my own time as well.
But and that's where, like, you're so right, because it gets to they talk about, they've got some very valid things that they talk about. That is great.
More so Wade, to be honest.
Oh, 100%. And
because I think Chris, I was confused with some of the stuff he was saying. I was just like, where are you going with this? And then Wade jumps in and is like, bro, nah, like, the beauty is the journey. And I love that part. I loved it. Like, he was talking about how, like, he started that small business and he wasn't doing so well. And he doesn't talk about, like, because when he was sharing the dream with his family, when you mentioned that you love that quote, and he shared that with his family in regards to what he was doing, they were like, didn't really know what it was, but they loved him enough and like had faith and trust in him enough to go out there and just do it. And he's like, I didn't want to tell them when I got to like 1 million followers. I wanted to tell them from the start because like the beauty is in the journey. And I thought that was cool. Like so the stuff he was saying, I'm like, oh yeah, like I like this. Like where's the negativity coming? And then bang, it just whacks you in the face. And I'm like, okay.
Like what? Like listen. So like, and hey, right? Like I think what they're doing, especially being males in 2025, talking about their feelings and emotion and everything like that is great, right? I think it's awesome. But like being a female, listening to where that turning point went in the pod be, like how did that make you feel?
Well, honestly, like I know for you, like it affects you probably more than what it affects me because I'm probably similar to like the Wade where it's like I've come to a stage in my life where I won't go down that negative road. Do you know what I mean? Like to hear that stuff, like I'm just like, whatever, it sounds negative to me, like I'll just brush it off. Do I think it's right? No. But it doesn't personally affect me because like everyone has choices and my choice is not to let that commentary affect how I feel.
Yeah, like I hear, I understand, but like I don't take it, like I guess there's a personal side, but where I get too passionate about it is the fact that it's like the impact that it has on females in 2025, because you are now you're that conversation or where you're putting females in that little pocket is essentially they don't need work, and if they do have a passion, it can be plating Barbies, or it can be doing postcards, or it can go for hot girl walks, which whatever, if that's what you want to do, cool, like whatever, right? But it's also like, but you don't have to work, so coming home, I expect this, I expect this, I expect this. And I just think it's more the language. I think it's more like, I guess, generalizing that female energy, so to speak, of the Barbies and the postcards and not having to work.
Well, Barbies, we're not 5.
Being wives and like being incredible. So like you're the portal of life and all that type of bullshit. Like, okay, cool. But like, that's where we know we've come so far, and I know we made comment on this last week on Friday. We have come so far, but yet we have so far to go. And these kids are 22. I don't know how old that Wade guy is, but it's like cool, they can mature. But like you said before, where are they getting this from? Like, where are they getting this from? Because like at the end of the day, whether or not you're a male or a female, it shouldn't matter. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where I don't know whether or not we'll ever get to that stage of it being like, no matter how you identify yourself, you just do what you want to do. And I guess that then comes into the pressure of being female and have a biological clock and all that type of stuff. I don't know. It just, dangerous.
Yeah, and like I don't agree with what they've said. It just personally, like when you say how does it make me feel, it doesn't personally make me feel anything because I don't want to. This is what he wants as well. Yeah, so he wants people talking about this podcast, and me giving energy to it is giving someone that's putting that message out there about women, like giving him energy pretty much. So like I'd rather take it away because that's exactly what he wants. And he wants this message, like he wants his views on this thing, right? Because that's what podcasting's all about, getting all the views and people watching it. Like we take that away and don't give him any energy, then less people will watch it. But unfortunately, he's got what he's wanted. A lot of people have talked about it. And now a lot of women probably have listened to that. And you're right. Like the society, like the younger generation that's coming into it probably would be affected by that. And they're probably thinking, am I a hot girl? Do I get to go for hot girl walks? Like, I don't play with Barbies. Like, what is he talking about?
So essentially like a hot girl walk really is just like you're in your activewear, you've got like, it's just like an Instagram type. Yeah, it's just like you're in your activewear, Lulu or Alice KD, whatever it is that you wear. And like, for example,
Right.
imagine like me with a girlfriend walking around in my Lulus with my takeaway coffee cup walking around Albert Park. Like,
Well, I've got my Lulus on. I've
there you
got
go.
an AS colour jumper, but I've got probably the mum bum, so I don't know if it's going to work.
I mean, like, and look, like but this is where, I mean, we could talk about, we could talk about this
for
for
ages.
right? But then there's, like, I don't know. I don't know. I just, like, these trends on fucking TikTok, like, hot girl walks, like, I mean, we have to go on TikTok a little bit more now because, we're becoming social media experts.
We're so famous.
But like, I remember when I first jumped on, and I was scrolling, and everything that was coming up for it was about beauty. It was like, look at my glow up from this year to last year, like, and all that type of stuff. Like, and it just, if you're bombarded with that, no matter who you are, mentally that is going to impact you. And I just think that, like, social media is such a massive part of our lives right now. I grew up, my parents, God love them, like, I wasn't allowed Facebook. I had a fake account, AMIEE, and then Griffin with an E rather than I. But, and I knew, like, I knew through doing a lot of work on myself that, like, I couldn't put a lot of my attention into social media because for me it was just a waste of time. But no matter how strong you are up here, it impacts. And when you're constantly seeing that shit, I put myself in the shoes of, say, like an 18-year-old girl who, has maybe just broken out of a relationship. Confidence is so fucking low. Might not even have to be a relationship, but I just went there. And, like, you see this shit, and then they fucking end up having Botox in, like, a year time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they want to know if they're going to be top tier enough for these boys.
I don't know. I personally think it's 2025.
And what about her dreams? Like, what about, like, what makes her feel good every morning? Why can't she go for the 5 a.m. dip and then come home to harmony and cuddles and just good energy?
But that, and
You know
then
what I mean?
again,
It needs to go both ways.
and again, that comes back to a relationship. No matter, like, who it is in that relationship, it needs to be teamwork, and I think it's not looking at it as a female thing or a male thing, like, you've got your own scenario, Britt, I've got my own scenario, my parents, I grew up in a completely different scenario. Like, it is what it is, and it'll constantly change through seasons. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I just think
We should divide. Like, this is what
100%.
females do, and this is what males do, and this is what accepted for females, and this is what accepted for males. Like, it just shouldn't be like that.
Nah, and I like, no matter how many fucking followers you are or how old you are, like, fucking grow up.
Yeah.
Walk outside.
Agree. No more energy, sorry.
Anyway, we're done with the Chris Griffin Alfie shit Wade thing podcast. Anyway, check out this Wade's YouTube video. So he seems pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, he is cool.
but yeah. Anyway, Thanks guys. Have a beautiful weekend.
Before you head out, don't forget to download the Body Awareness Kit. It's free and filled with tools and support we know so many of us need. From hormone balancing to daily wellness routines to real efficacy tips for PCOS and endo. You deserve to be informed and empowered. Get your copy now at the landing page or tap in the link in the show notes.